the Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and as you know, the Arts Council has been doing something called a Second Saturday. Our Second Saturdays are kind of a new way of celebrating the arts, a little different from what we used to do. We were the originators of the Downtown Art Crawl, which happens downtown, of course, on First Friday, and we didn't want to interfere with that, and so we think it's a cool program. We want everybody to be involved with that. And we also want you to come out and see us at Blue Ridge Art Space, so we came up with a new idea. Every second Saturday of the month, we celebrate the arts. And we usually start our day off with art crawls throughout the county. You can go to studios and galleries, you download a map from us, or you come by and pick it up. And you go out and visit all these different studios and galleries that want to invite guests in on that Saturday, and the times and the map and so forth will tell you how to get there. And then at 5:30, everybody comes to the Blue Ridge Art Space, and we celebrate 4 new exhibits, and we celebrate 6 artist demonstrations, and often we have live music, and we have a fabulous time with all of that. Well, this month we're adding in something extra. Actually, we're going to be adding a lot extra. We are adding in a celebration of singing. And ironically, you named it Celebrate Singing, Roland. This is Roland Moy. He's on our advisory council, and he has been, I kind of call him Mr. Singing or some Mr. Music, because he's just kind of like always trying to get people singing in every way you can possibly think of. And you celebrate singing through this event to kind of celebrate the art of singing, but also to celebrate the Arts Council.
Well, that's right. We've been eager to support the singing enterprise in the schools as well as in the community for quite a number of years, going back at least to 1970.
Wow.
Which was the first year we did a tour of retirement homes and Christmas caroling. Mm-hmm. So this coming December, it'll be like our, 44th tour of retirement homes for Christmas caroling. But for 33 years, this men's group from Winston-Salem has been coming up to entertain at an annual fall singing event. And it used to be strictly a barbershop quartet
Which
kind
is
of
kind
show.
of your first love, yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And but in the last few years now, we've sort of made it more general than just to celebrate the singing idea. So we've had other styles of singing included, and we'll have the young ladies from Appalachian State, Treble Attraction. We'll be back again for the 3rd year, and they have a variety of styles, a cappella style singing, a group of about 15 young women who enjoy not only barbershop and religious themed music that they use when they do a church service, which they've done, but they also have some of the more contemporary a cappella styles that they do. So we'll have a variety of singing styles, and we're hoping, and maybe someone might see this and let us know, we would like to feature a young soloist or two, if we can identify that person and arrange to have them there on this Saturday the 9th of November. So if there's a young soloist, you know, in middle school or high school that might want to be given a chance to sing in front of an audience, we would love to have that. You know, for years we sponsored the Jubilee Chorus, which for 15 years, and one of the features of that enterprise was to give young community people a chance to be a part of that. And so anyway, we can use this Celebrate Singing event on November 9th to have an opportunity for a young soloist or two to show their stuff.
I didn't know you were doing that. That's
well,
wonderful.
This is another new aspect of it. It's sort of a spin-off of what our Mountaineers Barbershop Quartet has done for many years of visiting elementary schools.
That's right.
To sing primarily for fourth grade class before they make a choice about extracurricular activities, and hopefully some of the young guys especially might pick singing as...
Well, I was going to bring that up because Roland and I have talked before about the fact that young boys especially, my son's a real good example. He sang and often soloed for his school choir and that kind of thing, and when his voice changed, his confidence in his voice changed, and he was afraid to sing, and I still have trouble getting him to sing. And so one of your goals has been to get boys to keep singing. Is that right?
Well, that's part of it. I mean, young ladies need to be singing too.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
As you know, because I've had you do some singing for us, and in fact, that might be a surprise if we come to the show.
Not if you tell people it's going to happen.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, especially young men. There's not a church choir director that couldn't use more men in the choir.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we hope young guys would think that's a fun thing to do, and by looking at our quartet, of which I am the youngest member, they can see that they can do this for a very long time.
I was going to say, I bet you remind them of that a lot. Now let's talk about your quartet a second now. Yeah, the Mountaineers Quartet, if you've never seen them, if you've never heard them, you really need to go. You won't be performing
Not
there
on
because
this particular
I know that
not in this particular
Dan is already going down
right,
out of this area for the winter. So, but they perform around the community and have performed many times for the Arts Council. They are fabulous. They're so much fun, but my favorite joke about them is that song, that song, When I'm 64, okay? Will you still love me? Will you still, Okay, well, when Charlie Isley passed 64, y'all changed the lyrics a little bit.
Right.
Changed it to, When I'm 74, right? Mm-hmm. And then Charlie passed 74. Then you went to When I'm 84.
Right.
And now Charlie has passed 84, and so now you're doing When I'm 94?
Right, for another year.
I started to say, when are you going to change it again?
It's a little harder to put 104 in there, but we'll figure out a way to do it.
I bet you guys can manage. They are a ton of fun, and I really enjoy working with them. Roland's first love is barbershop music, obviously, and he and his wife travel to barbershop conventions and conferences and performances around the country, literally.
Right.
And you have performed all over the place yourself. And you've sung with I've seen you perform with a lot of different groups, including that men's chorus you're talking about coming up from Winston.
I make my weekly trip down to Winston-Salem to rehearse with the chorus.
So,
and we just got back from Myrtle Beach this past weekend where we had a competition with the chorus.
What an awful place to have a competition.
Well, I know. It's just one of the places you had to go,
So you guys have gone down and had fun with that too.
All right.
So how fun. And that group is a lot of fun too. They're not stand up stiff and sing people. They move and they do all kinds of, sometimes you guys have actually done little dramatic things and skits and costumes and things.
We have our sort of a costume version of a show in Winston-Salem on November 23rd, so that'll be a little bit later. But the one here will be a little more straightforward, but we have a few surprises added each year. We have something a little bit different to make sure that we keep it interesting.
That's one of the great things about watching that group or listening to that group is that you never know what they're going to do next. And so it's always, and I've gotten to where watching them all these years, I've gotten to kind of know some of the personalities within that chorus. And there are some personalities in that chorus.
Definitely.
Not the least of which this guy's one of them. So what I want to ask you though, what kept you singing when you were a young child and growing up and into your teens and so forth? Did you keep singing all that time?
Well, there was always an opportunity. And my family was all musical, and so there were always opportunities in school. We had school pageants in elementary school as well as high school, and of course in high school we had the chorus,
right,
among other things, and the same thing in college when I got there. So there was always opportunity to be in a singing group of one sort or another, and then there were opportunities. Some people thought they wanted to hear me do solos, so there were opportunities to do some solos as well. So anyway, there was an outlet for whatever sort of talent I might have had, and so I've enjoyed that over the years, including a variety. You know, one of the great experiences I had fun with in the 1980s. It's a Green Park Inn was singing with an 18-piece big band.
Ooh,
and when you're doing a solo in front of a big band, that's a whole different experience.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
So,
be fun.
you know, so anyway, so I've had a variety of singing opportunities that I've tried to take advantage of.
Now, when did you discover barbershop?
Well, that is actually a family tradition as well.
Really?
I have a picture from a high school yearbook of my father in a barbershop quartet in 1916. So it goes back over almost 100 years within my family. So I grew up in a barbershop singing family. My older brother and father and other people had been in quartets prior to my coming along. I was the youngest son in the family. So by the time I was a high school senior, I was in my first organized barbershop quartet with my older brother, a brother-in-law, and a cousin. So anyway, this is actually the 60th year anniversary of that event, by the way.
My goodness.
1953. So
you were a toddler, right?
So I've been around barbershop. I've been quartetting for a long time.
You have, so you know it backwards, forwards, and upside down.
Well, anyway. Well, and I just visited the Men's Glee Club on campus yesterday.
Yes.
And one of the songs they're working on is a barbershop song that our quartet has been doing for 30 years. So basically, I could follow along on all four parts.
I'll just bet. That's one thing about Roland is I sang at a quartet that he organized, and he occasionally would come in and sub for one of the women. So he can do just about anything.
I'm not quite up to doing all the female parts in their range anymore. But anyway, so we're have a lot of fun with that. And, I've tried to encourage other groups to form, as you know. And in fact, I'm trying to get another women's group now that we've had some retired music teachers. There's two that just retired, and they're talking about getting reorganized again into a women's quartet. So that'll be great.
That is cool.
Because there are some neat arrangements between men and women.
There really are.
Doing joint things like the Lighter Rose thing and so forth.
Yeah, his quartet and my quartet did at least a couple of pieces together, and that was really fun to do with another group like that. There's a resurgence in the last several years of interest in the barbershop style of singing.
And in acapella generally.
Yes, And so your event is definitely, this event is going to, it is his event, he's organized it, is celebrating a lot of different styles of singing, but it really does feature a cappella more than anything else.
Right.
So that's really the big deal. So this particular event is happening on the 9th of November, and we're going to run literally from one thing to the next because we're celebrating on second Saturday. We have a gallery exhibit with Keith Lambert and Willie Balcom. They go by Shipyard Earthworks. I had them in here recently. You might remember them. They are fantastic potters, sculptors, and painters. They're going to do a joint exhibit. We also have the rug hooking group from the Cove Creek Senior Center is doing an exhibit in our open door gallery. We, of course, have our children's gallery and our Serendipity gallery exhibits. We'll have 6 artist demonstrations going on. And as soon as all that's over at 7:30, I'm going to hit the ground running, and I'm going to try to get over to the Boone United Methodist Church because that event starts at 7:30.
Right.
And you're going to, it'll be about an hour-ish.
Well, typically between an hour and an hour and a half, somewhere in there.
And it is a benefit for the Arts Council. They kind of they pass the offering plates. They're in the church.
Yeah,
so
it's a free admission event, and we'll just pass a hat.
So if you'd like to come and help the Arts Council out, this would be a great way to do it and to help us along our mission of not just promoting singing, but all the arts all through Watauga County. Roland, I don't know how to say thank you for all the many, 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 many things you've done over the years, not just for singing in general, but for the Arts Council. You've just been a huge asset to our community, and I want to thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you.
And you're not done yet, so don't say it in past tense. All right. You come and be a part of it all. Roland will get you involved in something, I am certain, if you come around. And so come and be involved in the arts. It's a fun and exciting place to be. Check our website, watauga-arts.org, for this and a lot more.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.